Alright, can you guys hear me now? Like, I have no idea why that was doing that. Alright, that's way too quiet. Why? Hello? Alright, hold on. I'm trying to get the audio to be better. Alright. I think that's just going to be the best I'm going to get it for right now. I really just need to buy a standalone mic instead of doing what I'm trying to do right now. It's not working very well. Alright, is that going to make it? Nope, that didn't make it any better. I just need to get me like a USB mic. Wow, I didn't even realize that the whole morning half of my show was not even recorded. Okay, well, it is what it is. I'll probably delete it later. And as I was saying, I didn't even come to the computer Friday. I was not in the right mind space. Um, yeah, Friday was not a good day for me. So, ended up working on my truck a little bit. Then ended up having to actually take my mother to the hospital. Actually, she went by ambulance. I just followed her to the hospital. And so I've been at the hospital all weekend. So it's been a long weekend for me. Um, Not 1% sure if I feel like today is going to be like a good market day. As I noted in my listing, I feel like I'm going to be uh, it's mostly going to be a no kind of day for me. So we're just gonna see what happens. If anything, I think Tesla might have a little bit of an opportunity to go up if we can get above this and it holds. So that's what I'm gonna be watching for. I'm really kind of agitated by my thing not working the way it's supposed to. Anyway, so how was everybody else's weekend? I was just trying to check something over here. I'm done with that now. Hmm. I guess one good thing about my microphone not working earlier, you didn't have to hear the massive fart that I had. That was probably TMI, but I don't know. I'm still a kid at heart. I swore my microphone was working earlier. I guess I thought I checked it. I guess I didn't. It's it's still being way too quiet. I got it turned all the way up, but I'm using a microphone that's attached to the camera system that I'm using, and it just doesn't work very well. Um, I'm not going to try to switch it right now to something else. Like I said, I just need a standalone mic setup. probably just delete this video later and figure out my microphone. It's just really agitating that it's not working right. My computer is not sitting astronomically high here. Actually, I just pull it up like this. Desktop. Um, I'll worry about updating that later. Damn, dude. Nice. Yeah, generally on the weekend I try to, cook really good food as well. But I haven't cooked in the last week or so. About a week. Um I've actually been losing a lot of weight because of it, so that's cool. Um but I was thinking about trying to do some beef fajitas or something. But beef fajitas are just always good, you know? Get some of that Tex-Mex in you. Beef fajitas, warm tortillas, caramelized onions and peppers, and fresh avocado and tomato. Hell yeah. That's some good stuff right there, I'm telling you. So yeah, I wanna get some of that. I'm not feeling very good with Tesla at all. Um, Another one I was kind of interested in is Shop, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Microsoft, kinda, but Microsoft has been on a bit of a bullish run here. It has slowed down a little bit compared to where it was. You see, like, this was a big moves through here. Little slow here. Now, this was Friday, did pull good. So I'm curious to see what Microsoft will do at Open today. CCL. This is another stock that I've played off and on. Obsidian. This is one that you played more than I do. I think CCL could be going back up maybe towards 14, but I don't know if I want to play that. XOM. What are you doing? You're just kind of all over the place. So XOM is Exxon. For anyone who might have not known. AMD, I haven't looked at you. Thursday, you were mediocre. Wednesday and Friday, you did good. Damn. Wednesday, you really did good. Let me. Well, the thing with options, make sure you go really, really slow with them because in August I really screwed myself because I went way too big on an option call, and I got murdered for it. Uh, yeah, I think I've only bought. I haven't sold puts or calls. I think selling them is quite risky, but I have bought them. Now, selling them definitely has some pros, but the thing with selling, you are your income is very set. Like you can't make any more from the deal than you did from the very beginning. That is your max profit. Your max loss though is like off the chart. So, uh I'm not going to try to draw it out on here, but yeah, selling has some pros and some major cons. Um I've been torn on selling. Um I've thought about it, but I haven't actually sold any yet. I've only bought. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, stretch my legs. I got a couple minutes till the market opens. So I'll be right back. I'm back. Hey, good morning, Jeff. How you doing? My watch is telling or asking me if I'm gonna meet my activity goals today. I have no idea. Sometimes having it on and it telling me how bad I'm doing is not fun. Anyway, so where were we? Oh yeah, we're gonna be looking at Tesla, I think. Yeah, I feel you on the long weekend there, Jeff. Where were you playing? Or where were the kids playing? Did you have to travel far for it? Oklahoma City? Okay. Yeah, I'm like 2 hours. Two and a half hours or so from Oklahoma City, I think. How far am I from Oklahoma City? Oh, if you're going to Houston, you're definitely going to be driving right by my house. Very, very likely, anyway. Driving. It says I'm 2 hours and 40 minutes from Oklahoma City. I guess that's if you're driving the speed limit. All right. So today, I don't think I'm going to be doing much trading. If I take any trades today, it's going to be on the much smaller side. I got 100 shares locked in, but I'll probably change that. Actually, let's go ahead and change that down to 50. I could always change it up if I need to. But I'm not exactly liking where things are lining up right this minute. Yeah, this is gonna shoot down. It was not getting good ground there. I might do a small short here, Bobby. If I do that, I'm looking to get to exit that position today. I don't want to stay in a short in this for a long period. So I'm not looking to do a swing trade if I go short. I'm just gonna wait. Might actually just not might. I'm gonna go ahead and throw 200 short on paper. I think. I got 200 short ready. Um, it is crossing a 225, which is a area that I saw some time ago now, though, so it's not recent, where the 225 could be good. If it actually goes above that point, I would actually probably go paper long instead of paper short. So right this minute, I definitely don't think I'm gonna use any real money right now because I could easily go paper long or paper short. See, the 225 definitely was an area where it did not want to go over. You know, the 225 seems like to be a very good watch point. Go ahead and do the market sell right there. So I'm in a sell or short on paper. I did 200. I think I might have jumped into that a little early on paper. I'm not going to change it yet. Definitely think it's more weak than strong by a good bit. So we're just going to sit back and wait. You know, this month the whole plan is only being on very sure moves, right? It's seemingly like it wants to go back up from here, but I don't think it will. I mean, it could. This could be near the bottom right here. I'm still in on the paper trade. I haven't moved it because I still think it's going to break low. But glad I did not go in with real money because I would have been getting nervous when it started to come back up. I know I'd be getting nervous again. But I still think it's going to be more facing down unless we get above the 224. If it gets above 224, I would feel like it could be going up for a new high. Right this minute, it's still facing a lowering volume. Maybe not. All right. put a buy stop at above market high by 13 cents above the 225. If it can get above the 225, it could very well turn into a very strong move. You know, the great thing with it being paper, I really don't care. I mean, I do, but I don't. If that makes sense. And I'm out. So, alright. I'm glad I didn't trade that with real money. But the paper account is still doing very, very good compared to my real money account. I'm gonna put a buy in, I think. On paper. Alright, I did. And then we're gonna walk away from that. Let's take a look at Amazon here. So, new high over the last several days. Hmm. Jeff, Obsidian, where are you guys looking at? Anything particular? PLTR? Short? Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I just did a dip buy on Amazon when it came down near VWAP. I did that on paper. I should have shorted it when it got up here. I'm gonna do this as a stop and go, I think. So when I can get a free trade put in, I will. And we'll go ahead and put it right there. I'm just doing that for protection. But I'm gonna try to stay in this for the long haul through today. Then I will add more into it later. Now, the reason why I decided to do 400 is it's an $18 stock. I'm only planning on staying in it through today. I don't think I'm going to stay in it through tomorrow. So I would like to try to maximize potential profit here. And I think it is going to go below here. So I'm looking for below, I guess, right there. So it could bounce around a little bit or not. It just went right through it. Cool deal. Very good find there, Obsidian. I was even keeping an eye on that one. Boom. A little bit of a profit here. Fantastic. It looks like my Tesla play went bad. It was green for a little bit on paper. I'll just keep an eye on that. Amazon, I'm going to go ahead and just put a protection point. Let's go over, take a look at Amazon. Yeah, I just went ahead and got out of Amazon. So the short that I originally had on Amazon was good. So I try to get out of it too soon. Oh well, that sucks. Yeah, so getting used to TOS does take a little bit of getting used to, but I think once you kind of learn it, it is a quite nice system. I like it. If you want help to try to find something on TOS, I'm pretty sure me or Obsidian can give you a hand. I personally like to trade off the chart screen. So they generally have you set up over here on the trade screen, but I moved everything over here to the charts. Over on the trade screen, they show a bit more information, more than I would kind of want, and I like the charts, so I have the active trader button over here, uh, and that's primarily what I like to use. So I'm not going to jump back into a Tesla short. Amazon is seemingly turning around on me too, but we're just going to leave it. I got a profit locked in there. So I'm down like $900 on Tesla on paper. Should have stayed in the short, but it did get up pretty high. Um, so I think switching was smart. I should probably put in a stop loss after I'd gotten in. But I don't know if that was super predictable of this drop. That drop was pretty significant. Uh, 500 short. Do I do that? All right, I did a 500 short. Let me pull this over here. But I'm only going to stay in this for a short second if it starts to flip around. And this is how I lost so much money. I kept on entering in these positions and I was flip-flopping way too much. I'm actually kind of upset that I did try this again. Because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I lost $900. I need to try to get the $900 back, right? Which was the same thing I was doing before. But I was not willing to sit through the potential losses to make that money difference. And that's what I need to try to prevent from doing. So I put a buy stop right there. I'm actually not happy with that short. I shouldn't have done it. But I don't want to get out of it now, even though I probably should. My Tesla got triggered. I mean, Amazon got triggered. Yeah, this is about to trigger. Alright. I'm done trying to play with Tesla today. I don't care if it's on paper or not. I'm making some of the same mistakes that I was before. So I'm glad the way I did that. And, that's the benefit of paper trading. You can make those mistakes, realize you made those mistakes, and recognize the pattern that you're doing to yourself. I guess the correct direction. Let's actually talk about that. So I guess the correct direction this morning going down. So I shorted it right down here. So I got in way too low. It reversed, so then I covered up here. Then when it broke up high, I went long. Then I wasn't paying attention to it. It comes back down to VWAP and completely breaks, goes all the way through. So then I short it again down here, covered again up here. Now it's going to go back down, but I couldn't hold through the losses that I was making from this candle to this candle. So I had a position size that was too high. I was sure of the direction it was going to go, and it's continuing right now. So this is about to go down. If it goes below here, it's going to go back into profit. But I got gypped out because it was coming back up towards this VWAP. So I was getting concerned about its overall direction. There it goes. So I should have had a much smaller position size here, added up here, so that it would have moved it to about here, and then I would have been fine. But instead, what happened is I allowed myself to get gypped out multiple times today on the direction that I knew that this was. I mean, you don't ever truly know, but I was pretty sure that this was going to come back down. It did not hold the 225, and I felt that the 225 was going to be a good level. It did not hold that. So this short here, I'm not upset about. This long up here, I am. I should have been paying more attention. And I should have shorted it up here. If I was going to short it again. Then when I shorted it here, I started to chase. That was not a good trade. The direction was very affirmed, but that in itself was not a good trade. Sorry if I was just totally analyzed that whole trade and I made somebody bored. But that's part of the reason why I'm still paper trading. I am trading with real money, as you see here. You know, I made enough to get me a free coffee today at Starbucks. Maybe a Starbucks snack. So either a drink or a snack, and that's about it. And that's nothing to write home to. But, you know, I think getting out the way I did, as much as it sucked, I think was smart to try to put that free trade in. Should have really shorted up here, but the same thing would have happened anyway. I wouldn't have made any more money than I did. I would have still made the 6 something, you know, dollars. So I'm cool with that. So today may just be a no trade day for me. So Thursday I had a small green. And then every other day was a no trade for last week. I have not updated my calendar, so I'm doing that right now, so it won't take me long to do that. And today will be a small green. Actually, both of these days were actually still gray. They were below 50. Today, small green, but it's still gray. So, just got that noted in here so I can keep track of that. So small green, but gray. Looks like Tesla's still going to go down, but I'm not going to trade that anymore. Like I said, I'm done with that. Ford is going down. That's a very strong tabletop, so I think it could come all the way back down to like 1025. But I'm still bullish on it. Overall, I'm bullish. I know if you bought Ford right now, you may not make money on it this week or next week, but you will make money on Ford if you hold it. So I got 1,000 shares that I'm holding of Ford. And I'm not going to change that right now. I got that on paper. No, I don't have that in real money. I have that on paper. Yeah, so there's the 220. That was one resistance area that I had noted before. Very curious to see what's going to do right around the 120, 120, or 119, or 219, 220. It did gap fill. Can't say I'm surprised it gap fill. And I even said that earlier. It's probably going to gap fill, but I allowed myself to get gypped out and took a loss. Amazon, what are you doing? You're slowly working your way back up. I'm not going to do anything with that with paper. To be honest, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day right here. Nothing is looking like it's a firm move for me. PLTR was a great move. I missed out on it. I caught a little bit of it. But I don't... Excuse me. I'm not feeling anything super particular right now. So, with that being said, that one picked up quite a bit from Friday. It's a small cap. I'm just looking through some of my small cap and then my large cap filters. So I'm looking over here on Finviz. You know, I like to use Finviz quite a bit. So I'm just looking through some of these here. And there's the one I just looked up at. I don't like the pattern that's forming on any of these particularly. That's not too bad. Personal services, China. All right. Over here, I'm not seeing anything too juicy. Let's take a look at short side. APLS. We can short that. It does have some volume. The spread is a little a little ugly, but if you went in with small sizing, you could make that work. I would wish that more volume kind of went through it, to be honest. A little bit more volume, I probably would have been a little bit more interested in it. But with the volume structure where it is, I think I'll let it go. But definitely, definitely interesting. But you see how it's like bouncing quite a lot here. So if you're trying to move anything other than like maybe 100 shares, 200 shares, it could bounce quite heavily on you. And we've seen stocks like this before where it can be really, really good, but then turn really ugly to where you can't get out of it. So this could end up being like that. Although it looks like it's about to make a new low. So today I learned that I made the same mistake that I was doing a couple weeks ago. I was jumping in and out of Tesla too many times. So I still need to work better on that, but at least I did that on paper. I did not go starting to risk real money, so I already knew that I might be making a mistake. The sizing was completely off, and that forced me into positions that I was not exactly happy with. When the losses were piling up, I did not have the holding power. So I need to work on that. So smaller sizing, um, and I was pretty sure on the original direction, but I allowed myself to get gypped out of that trade, which caused me to have a losing position sizing of I think it was right around 400, 900, maybe over 1,000. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, uh, TradingView doesn't show you how much money you actually lost on the deal, but it's just over 1,000 is what I'm guessing. So, yeah, definitely could have made some money right here, but spreads are kind of ugly. So yeah, definitely would want to have smaller sizing in here, but overall, I'm not finding too many things that SoFi. SoFi, on the other hand, does have some push power here. Definitely has a much higher volume. I might sit here and watch this for a second. I wanted to do another trade overall on Tesla. It looks like it would be worth it, but I've already kind of said to myself I'm not going to do anything more there, so I'm going to continue to follow my internal intuition and not do anything there. But we'll take a look at it for a possible tomorrow. I'll see where it lands up today. I've already made myself opened myself up to Tesla too much on paper. I need to quit chasing. This on the day chart is looking good. On or on just today's chart. But overall, it's actually looking pretty darn good. It could probably go all the way down to 7.4. If it breaks through 7.4, 7 is quite likely. At this point, I don't think this would get back up to 8. So if you take a 8 to 6, say from 0.6 to 8 for 40 cents. If you want to risk just $100, that would be 250 shares. And that wouldn't be terrible. If it drops down, the 60 cents, it'd just be easier to use a calculator here. So 250 times by 0.6, 150. So that would be a 1 to 1.5 to get to a 2. So 200 divided by 250 equals 0.8. So subtract 7.6 equals 6.8. SOFI. So that would give you a 1 to 2. Oh, see, Obsidian, you're kind of doing like the opposite mistake of what I'm doing, but a mistake nevertheless. Trust me, I completely understand where you were adding in more shares. I do. How deep are you right now? What's your average? .09. So I'm going to look at SoFi later. At the say, so it's at 7.64. 6.4, 6.5 is probably where I would want to try to get in. If I was going to get in, I would want to have been up here, but I didn't see it up here. So if I did get in, it would be down here, and I want to see if it works for me. 300. No, what is your averaged shorts position like? Are you at 18.4? Like, where are you sitting at over here? 18.54. So you're actually, it's below your entry right now, but you're saying you were scalping, so you bought some way down here, you covered some. I think if you sat right where you're at right now, maybe stay at the 18.54. Maybe not. I wouldn't keep adding right now. And I think I would just hold off to see. Just went green at 18.4. So right here is where you would need to be green on the day. Okay. So 18.4. And you said your average is at 18.54. So your current average is 1854. You're at 18.4 to be even. I would be worried at the 1849, 1850 because that is a support resistance area for right here. But looking at this as a whole for today, I think it's more green than red. Um, you're not far off from this is a little word. Okay, so just broke. I was gonna say there's a big support at the 18.4, but that did just break. Oh man, I don't know what to tell you. I think I would say maybe set your stop loss somewhere like right up in here, right up in this area, just to protect yourself. But doing that can also be a double-edged sword because it could swing back up, trigger that, and leave you in the red. But I don't think you really need to worry about it going green on the day unless it breaks way up here. But I mean, the holding power to go from 18.4 to say zero point 0.8, that's a 40 cents on 300 shares. That so wait, you're down 300. I don't know if I would go reducing exposure yet. If you wanted to do that, I'd put some at the 18.4. I don't know if I would go covering quite yet because as it gets closer to a new low, it could really have a chance to grow. Especially with the sale volume really starting to kick in now. Up 250. Very nice. Very nice. Hold on. Don't be too worried about it yet. A pull up is fine. I don't think that's going to have a major effect. Just be a little patient here. If I was you, I think I would put it at the 1839. Be all out at 1839. Just as protection, knowing that you were negative quite heavily, right? But I don't think it's going to get above the 13 or 1839. I was even thinking about maybe taking a short, at the 1837. I guess it would be up to you if you want to go ahead and get out somewhere in this area. But if you put it at 1839, I think that would be fine. Maybe sooner. I don't know. I did allow me to get gypped out on Tesla. I got gypped out multiple times on Tesla on the correct move. So, obviously, I was making mistakes there. But it looks like it's wanting to gain a little bit of strength here. But it's not breaking the 1839. But I could make the argument to sell or to buy to cover. I could make that argument. I could also make the argument to sit there and hold it because it definitely feels like it's more weak than strong. But I know that can be very, very hard to hold through. And I don't have any shares in this, so I have no skin in the game. So, the gut wrenching decision. I mean that's a hard fucking decision. 500 shares. Okay. Yeah. Hey, if you're green, no matter what, that's the key thing right there, and it's looking weak again. A little strong, but yeah, it definitely can be hard to figure out right now. You definitely have a lot more selling coming through than buying, per the chart down here. You know, I understand mistakes like that happen, dude. I've done the same shit, but it looks like it's gonna play out in your favor. I hate when I'm trying to average in and then I screw it all up. I've done that way too many times. I'm not very good at averaging in. But shoot, I actually kind of wish I did short it up here. If I did, my stop loss would probably be right here. I might look into shorting this tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up here, PLTR. You've been trading this one off and on for a second now. I have it over here. It's been on my list for a long time, but I've never really done much with it. But I went ahead and put it on my day list, my day short list. Yeah, that's what I should have done with Tesla. I would have been really happy if I held through the upswing that Tesla had. And that's where, yeah, I should have done that better. Negative 600, man, that's painful. But I feel you. I feel you. I would have been thinking the same damn thing too, dude. Negative 600, oh man, I would have been pissed. I'm not liking it. It seems like it's starting to build a little bit of strength, but every time it starts to build, sellers do come in and push it back down. But I probably would move my stop loss maybe 1835, just so I could lock up most of that profit. Because you see, when it starts to get down near this low area, the sellers kind of fade off a little bit and the buys start to pile in. Now, there's a big sell right there, but is it going to hold through to keep pushing it down below the 18.3? I don't know. Freaking awesome, dude. Almost $300 profit. Freaking killing it. Where did you cover at? Although I will say this, you took a $600 risk to make 300. That's part of the reason why I didn't take that many trades today with real money. I was not finding a lot of good risk analysis plays, and I'm happy I didn't do much because of that. 1832 covered. 1832 right there. Okay, I get that area. That's definitely, just short of where a lot of strength was coming in. So, and it looks like it's finally going to start to break through that. Yeah, there it goes. The break always happens after you get out. Eh, fuck, dude. And you had 500 shares. 18.32 times 500. So, where's my spreadsheet? I'm just going to make a little quick calculator here. 1832, 500. And then this will be current price, so 18.23. This will equal this subtract by, actually, hold up, so I need to parentheses equals this subtract by this close parentheses equals 9, and then continue that equation times by 5. So you had 500. So you had 500 when you sold at the 1832. So I just made the calculator work here. So 18.2. So you'd be at a $60 higher right now. So I mean, in all honesty, that's not that big of a difference. Comes by 500 shares. And I totally get where you're saying, if you sold when it started to go back up and you locked in that profit and then you sold again on its way back down. But in all honesty, that can be very hard to calculate out. Um, Actually, what I'll do is let me scroll down, come to an empty spot. So here's a spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet that I use. Actually, let me scroll all the way down. I don't want you guys to see all that information up there. Give me a second. All right, there we go. So you can see how much rows of data I have. Over 1,000 rows of data filled out. So there we go. So this is for the short. This is cover. And this calculator is actually really simple to do for anyone who doesn't do spreadsheets. So actually, let me just redo it and show you how you do it. So this is Google Spreadsheets right here. So you do the equal sign, and we need to do an equation first to find what's the difference between these two numbers up here. So the easiest way to do that is just parentheses, grab the first one, subtract the second one, close the parentheses, enter, and you'll see it pulls out 12 cents. So we know that that first part is working. So now we're going to enter back into it, and we can put in the 500 shares, and we can see 60. Or the other way we can do it is say, this is your share count. So now what we do is we put the, say, 100 shares right here. Come back to here, take this out, the times, and click on this box, enter. So now it's 12. Now we put in 500, 60, say, okay, we added more to it, 1,000. So you can quickly, figure out like different scenarios here. And this is what I do a lot. So say I sold at 18, I was at 32, or let's say we were looking at 0.5. Why didn't you like that? There it goes. I don't know why I didn't like it at first. But anyway, so you can see doing a calculator here, you can do it so quick, so easily to do different things. And then you could even come down here and say, you could run different profit scenarios on here by adding to this. I'm not going to do that, not in this stream. But this is one of the reasons why I use spreadsheets all the time. You can easily just quickly change all of this so easily. It's not even funny. You could even do something like this, say equals this times by your share sizing, so you can find out how much equity you used or how much of your account. Then you could even just take this, drag it over. Wow, why didn't it not work? So we need to change that to H. Done. So here you can see what the difference is in between. That's the short, that's the cover. Now, if you went long, you would have been looking at a $500 loss. But we could just simply do that by typing it differently up here. So I mean, there's just so many different things you can do with spreadsheets. It's one of the reasons why I love them, and I use them all the time. And you could also, I'll show you with this one. So I group my rows together so I can add or subtract data, and it's in a super easy, clean format. Right here you can see I put in different data points. This is when the virus hit in 2020. I don't know why I cut off the beginning part of 2020 here, but I was trading back in 2019, but for some reason I don't have that data here, and I don't remember why I took it off. But from 2020 to today, I have every single day of trading I've done. So I know exactly what I've done, where I've done it, and you can see I have my yearly reports, net worth, taxes, data. Data sheet is just full of mixed data points that I use, and these are all auto-filling different avenues. Same thing with sheet is something I'm working on. This is crypto calculators. These are all updating automatics. Super useful to kind of do stuff like that. Anyway, if you're not using spreadsheets, spend a little bit of time, learn how to use them. They're super, super powerful to do what you kind of want to do. Sorry if that was super boring or if you already know all about spreadsheets, but I mean that's something I don't think some people talk about, and I think it is somewhat important, especially when you can organize your data in such a fashion that makes it super easy to understand what you're doing. Oh yeah, the thing I could actually probably do, and I probably should do, is take the format that I'm using and make it into something that you can actually just grab from me with a blank data set, and then you could utilize it for yourself. So I could have all the formulas in there that I'm using, explain how to use the sheet. I could do a little bit of a TikTok on that. But I'm a big fan of using Google Drive. So Google Drive and the spreadsheets, the documents, the Word, all that. One, it's free compared to the Microsoft version. Um, Now, the Microsoft version, if I had it for free, I would use it. The same that I would use Google. But here's the thing that I love about Google, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I could use a Chromebook. I can use a phone, Android, Apple, whatever, tablets. And within seconds, I can work on my spreadsheets. Having that kind of flexibility compared to Microsoft, where you have to, there's just some extra steps there. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of using Google Drive and Google Spreadsheets. Um, my spreadsheets, I consistently edit them and make them better over time. And the formula uh, gets better. Uh, I'll probably work on sometime next week or this week. I don't know. I might actually work on putting together a spreadsheet video with a link so you could actually download my format that I'm using and utilize it for yourself. Because I can't show you some of the other screens. I would like to, but I'm not going to. But I have graphs, bar graphs that show me graphically how I'm doing. So I can see if I'm being too aggressive, not aggressive enough. I have, visual representation of my data. So all I have to do is enter it in daily, weekly, whatever. And it lets me know how I'm doing and lets me know quickly. So, extremely useful. For me, it is anyway. And like I said, I made that calculator just for this here in a couple seconds. And now all I have to do is add in the new price that it's selling for. So I had it set for 1820. It's down to 1811. So for 500 shares, that'd be an extra $105. Done. It makes it so easy to do it that way. It really does. In so many different ways you can change that. Say it goes all the way down to 18 even, that'd be 160. So if it drops another 10 cents, 18 or 1600, 18 is right here. 18 is a possibility. So, 18 would be a good target range. And I know that if I was in at the 32 and sold at 18, it would be an extra 160. Yeah, so the 50% retracement, it changes my mind too, but sometimes, like, okay, so Amazon did that too. So let's go over to Amazon. Amazon started that 50% retracement. Actually, we're not even going to do it here. We're going to go ahead and pull up this over here. So Amazon did it over here. It retraced quite a bit early this morning. And I decided to buy it. And I bought it right there. You can see the arrow pop up. I'll zoom in. You can see it. I bought right there at 139.4. So 20 cents high from the low right here. That was a pretty big retrace compared to the previous candle. But I saw how it was basically following this upper VWAP. So I decided to jump on it. And jumping on it was smart. Now, I did get out right here. Wish I stayed in. But ultimately, we could see that, I sold right near the bottom where it was going to go. I didn't think where I was putting that in. I just kind of put it in. But you can see it came right down to VWAP and then went right back up. So, in all honesty, with how low I got in, I should probably been closer down to center VWAP. So it would have had to break and then continue to go down to the bottom VWAP. But I don't generally trade on VWAP information. But we can see how it's trading the upper quadrant slash on the boundary right through here. So this was not a good sell point. And we can see how it is breaking top VWAP once again. So, and it still had a upward trend trajectory. Even though it was dropping right here, it still had an upward trend. That's something else I need to get better with. But I don't necessarily always trade on VWAP, so it's changing the way that I look at stocks. And that's also why I'm upset with Tesla. I played Tesla wrong. Ooh. Ford has come up a bit. So it was dropping. It's coming back up. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Anyway, take that back off the screen. So I didn't even notice QQQ. I haven't even looked at it. So I do have it on the other screen, but I wasn't looking at it. So yeah, well, QQQ came down to 368, but I wouldn't really call that to be a weak move. I mean, it held. But yeah, I can understand. It was up here and then it pulls back. But I mean, that would have been survivable. Yeah, so figuring out the perfect entries is something that is going to take practice, which is the reason why I'm doing paper. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about your play over here on the Queens. Yeah. So it did drop actually pretty darn freaking low, dude. Um, and you were at 358. Yeah, that would have been hard, but maybe if you jumped back in over here. I don't know. But definitely could have made a play down in here somewhere. But you know, the Queens have been a finicky girl recently. It would have been a good option play, because option wise, you would have probably picked out a week to 2 weeks or so. Um, Option on it would have been absolutely beautiful if you did a 2 week option. But damn, that actually popped right back up. So it got down to the 18.10 and reversed. So your 1832 point doesn't look bad at all. So I would be pretty happy with that. SoFi, let's take a look to see what it's doing. I was saying at 7.64. So I would be in the red on this trade. So I was thinking somewhere right up in here. So it went up and went down. Now it's going up. But if it doesn't cross over the 775, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But you know, I'm not gonna do any more trades today. I'm not. Wow, Apple, you grew frickin' wings here. You're doing good. So the Apple, the M3 chip, I think it's gonna do Apple fantastic through this holiday season, especially with it coming out on the MacBooks. I'm even really seriously thinking about getting a MacBook. The M3 chip, from everything that I'm getting, especially the M3 Max, seems to be absolutely completely different than what Intel, AMD have been doing for a while. So I think the M3 has a really good chance at being a huge money maker for Apple. Now, what they're going to do for the M4, which I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with the M4 in a year to 2 years, maybe longer. Apple's been, they had 8 months from the previous chip release of the M2 Ultra. And the M3 is massively better than M2 Ultra. Not even by a little bit. We're talking about a massive leap from numbers. But we have not gotten to test that many of the M3 Max yet. But the M3 Max looks to be very much more powerful compared to the M2 Ultra. I'm surprised they did not roll out the M3 Max for the Apple Studio or the Apple Pro. They only have it out for the laptop models, which I find to be a little interesting. But the M3 standard version seems like it's going to be much better for the battery life compared to the M3 Pro or the M3 Max. But I think the M3 processors in general for Apple is going to do really, really good. So I think we could see 200 coming back up out of Apple by holiday season. So I might seriously be thinking about trying to grab some Apple stock to hold into the long term, because I think we're going to hit 200. So I'm going to start keeping an eye on Apple, and I might grab some shares that I can sit for the longer run, even if I go red. But I think the M3 chip is going to do really, really good. I'm saying that as Apple's sinking. But yeah, the M3 chip is very interesting. So is Tesla. So, see, I'm happy that I didn't jump back into Tesla. If I kept on trying to jump in and out, I could easily be losing more money on paper like I was. I was just trying to play too many sides of the coin. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of this trade. Jeff, I don't know if you're still in here. I think you are. I would like to try to get you set up for mic use if you wanted to. I think it'd be very fun to have both you and Obsidian on the show, so to speak. So when we're talking about different stocks, I know you come in here quite a bit. And Obsidian, you have some really good, thought and opinions on stocks. And I think it'd be very fun, even if it's just between us. I don't care if anyone else watches. But if somebody else comes in and having a very well-defined conversation, I think it'd be quite useful for other people that could come in, and we can start to build a community around sharing information from maybe multiple sectors. I know automotive and technology is an area that I feel like I'm fairly strong in. Um, but I definitely would like to try to round that out so we get more of market coverage. I don't want to say like a news station, but maybe um, where each of us kind of specializes maybe in a certain area, so we can find great information to trade on or something. I don't know. Anyway, oh fuck, I'm gonna get going. I got some stuff I gotta handle today. Um, and I don't think there's going to be that much more money to be made safely with the market today. Maybe short on Tesla for the long haul. If you get it on a good upswing and you can stay in it, but I'm just personally not going to trade it anymore. With real or paper, I'm just not going to. So yeah, I will see you guys Wednesday. Um, I'm still only going to broadcast 3 times a week. Um, at this point, I might switch it back up to daily. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, again, thank you all for watching. See you all tomorrow or Wednesday.